Perrello, and welcome to the Philly Factor. My guest today is known as the Flower Lady. Patricia Gallagher is the founder of the Happy Flowers Project. And if you could see, as evidenced here on our set, there are plenty of flowers to go around. I don't even know the last time the studio smelled so nice, Patricia. But I want to thank you for being with us and bringing some of your wares with us. We're going to get into the Happy Flower Project here in a moment. But your mission is very simple. It's simple with a backdrop of we all live in a fast-paced, complex, complicated world. But you want to share flowers with people. Many of those people in nursing homes, assisted living facilities, perhaps people that aren't even in homes. They may be living on a street corner. So tell us how you came up with this project.
My daughter was doing a fundraiser for Action AIDS, and when the event was over, she gave everybody these beautiful bouquets, and I said, Kristen, where did you get them? And she said, well, we're a nonprofit, and different grocery stores donate to us. And I said, oh, well, I just started living with Mom. She was about 87 or 88, and I said, Chris, do you think this is something that I could do with Mom in the morning, like pick up flowers and pass them out? She said, well, nothing ventured, nothing gained. That's what you always told us. So I called the store, and they asked if I was a nonprofit, and I wasn't. So I had to kind of work that out, but then I did, and then my mother and I started picking up the flowers every morning, and as of now, I've given away 50,000 bouquets. My mother's no longer with us, but I have another volunteer, and Ella's 95, so we have a good way to start our day every day.
Yeah, 50,000 flowers, that's pretty amazing. The mission started in 2013. You're not growing these flowers in your backyard. It's through benefactors who donate the flowers to you as a nonprofit. And you really go from one end of the Delaware Valley to the other. You told me right before we started taping about you went to Norristown and there was a woman standing outside of her home and you went with a bouquet of roses and she thought you were going to the wrong house because nobody's sending me roses, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So I take them to hospitals, nursing homes, shelters, along the street, bus stations, train stations. But one of the favorite things I like to do is just to go into laundromats where people are doing their laundry, or to walk up and down Marshall Street or different streets in Norristown. And yesterday, Ella, who is recovering from her broken pelvis, we saw a lady standing outside our house on Pine Street, and I just brought the roses up, and she said, what address are you looking for? I said, oh, we're bringing you roses. She goes, what address are you looking for? And I said, no, we're passing out flowers. She goes, well, nobody's sending me flowers. You've got the wrong person. I said, I know, but would you like these flowers? We're giving them away. Oh, sure. And I said, do you want these, or do you want to look in our car? We have about 100 bouquets. And she goes, no, I'll take these roses. And I usually start out by saying, we're passing out free flowers today that people donate to us. Would you like some for your kitchen table? And people always take one, but I always say, are you going to see anybody else today? And I usually give people 3 or 4 because they always say, it's my anniversary, my daughter's sick. The other day somebody said her loved one had 5 toes amputated from diabetes. Everyone says, they don't say, I want them for myself. Everybody always says, oh, I'm going to pass these along too. So it's very gratifying, and it's fun, and it's free. But the stores that are donating them, they're not really donating them out of the goodness of their heart. It's almost like they have social responsibility, but it's a sustainability type thing. The stores don't want to waste anything they have in their store.
Right.
And when it gets to the expiration date, they have to throw away good stuff. So if I do what I call a search and rescue, and these people know I'm coming, it's not like I just call in the morning.
Yeah.
It benefits everybody, the people in the street, me, the stores, the people that witness the kindness, the people that receive the flowers. It's just like win, 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 win.
Yeah, and from what started out as the collection of flowers and the distribution of flowers, many of these benefactors then also offered up food products for you, like cakes and cookies that otherwise, again, would be discarded because of the sell date. But even evidenced here, there's cookies on the table. I know when you came into the studio, I think you may have handed out a bag or 2 of cookies to some of the LaSalle students. But again, sometimes people are touched by the gesture of even a small bag of cookies means so
Right.
much to them. Many of these people have been forgotten by society. They may have even been forgotten by their family. And then a total stranger comes up to them and offers them either, a bag of cookies or even a flower or two. It really brings a smile to their face.
It does, and it's really a bouquet. I mean, it's like, do you want pink? Do you want yellow? Do you want white? Do you want them all?
Yeah.
And the baked goods, it's not like they're giving them to me in particular. I just happen to come along for the flowers, and they
Sure.
have, 20 expiration date. The only thing I had a hard time getting rid of was the broccoli.
Yeah.
Apple pies, cookies, chocolate-covered pretzels, no problem. You go up and you just say to anybody, would you like a couple of apple pies? They're from, and I name the store, and they've given them to me. But one time when they had cartons and cartons of broccoli, I hesitated to take them. I'm not a broccoli lover. My car smelled like broccoli. But I thought, well, I'll take them to Norristown. There's people that will want it. But it wasn't that easy to pass
Offload,
them.
yeah.
I don't want to say offload. I'll say pass it along for, to a new home.
Yeah.
It was tough.
Yeah. Patricia Gallagher is our guest on this edition of the Philly Factor. As a result of her discovering and creating this project, the Happy Flowers Project, you have written a number of books, too, about your experiences. I think I read at least 10 books.
I have written 10 books, not all on this topic.
Sure.
Way back when I was young and I had small children, I was doing a child care business in my home in 1989. And I wrote a book called Start Your Own At-Home Child Care Business that was published by Doubleday. And then a few years later, I thought, well, I don't want to do that. What can I do? And I thought, well, you can either save money or make money. I thought, well, I'll find every money-saving, budget, frugal idea I can find. And I wrote a book called Raising Happy Kids on a Reasonable Budget. And then it just seems like whatever I've been doing over the years with the kids, I've written a book about. In this particular case, so many people would come up and ask me how they start a project. And then I thought, I'll just write a how-to manual. Because there's a lot involved, but it's easy at the same time.
Yeah.
But I thought if I could answer the frequently asked questions, so I wrote a couple of books on how to start a Happy Flower Day project.
And that's important because, like you, when you got started and you went to these different businesses looking for donations, the first thing they asked was, are you a nonprofit?
Right.
Most people aren't thinking that that's
Right.
the way you can get donations if you're a nonprofit. So, I mean, there's the first step that you've
Right.
sort of outlined and share with people who might be thinking about, it may not be flowers, it might be something else,
Right.
that they feel like they're on a mission, but they're not quite sure how to get started or which direction to go, or how do I, like Patricia, get flowers to help people just to brighten up a person's day. So
Right.
it's important that you share, and commendable that you are sharing your ideas in a book. Some people might be saying, well, I'm going to hold it close to the vest because this is all my work, this is
Right.
but knowing you and reading about you, you would like, and your mission has actually has taken off in other areas around the country.
Yeah, so what I'd like to do is call it Flowering Across America, or
Sure.
Flowering Across the World, because it's not only something you can do locally, you can do it anywhere. But I've made every possible mistake, Paul. Sometimes I'll call the store and they'll say, oh, we have 100 bouquets for you today. So I'll contact the nursing home and be ready to go. And then I get there and someone else has come by and taken them, or they've been thrown away accidentally. They didn't know I was coming. So a lot of people want to volunteer with me. And I have to say, that doesn't work out for me. My one little 95-year-old and my grandchildren, I can manage them. But
Yeah.
a lot of times when I brought volunteers along, they'd say, oh, you're not going down in that area, are you? Oh, you're not taking the expressway with these flowers. And I thought, or they take the day off from work to come with me, and then we get there and there are no flowers. So it's kind of like I'm the Lone Ranger mom doing this.
Yeah.
In terms of how to get donations and procure them, if you go on the website of stores, they tell you their donation policy and how to apply. But I really have made every mistake. Like there's sometimes that I think, oh, I'm going to do the flowers today, and I rearrange my schedule, and then it just doesn't work out. Like they get all wet, I get all wet, whatever happens, the baby's crying, but it's been very fulfilling for me and for the volunteers, Bob, who is 91, and he was a Yale graduate and a captain in the Navy. I mean, it gave him a sense of purpose. My mother was 87 until she was 88. She loved doing it, and Ella loves doing it, and I love doing it.
You also mentioned your grandchildren, because I think you also have them involved in this project a little bit also, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I think if you teach children kindness when they're little, they'll become kind adults. And so my grandchildren are 2 and almost 5, and I pick them up most days at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, but it's a nice thing to do with them. They get to pass the flowers out with me. It's teaching them social skills. And I think a lot of kids today are on technology, and a lot of parents are on technology, and they may not know these social interactions. So I would tell people with the Scout troop, you know, the Rotary group could do this, your Catholic CYO, your Jewish Mitzvah project. Anybody can do something. You can just contact your local bakery or your local florist and say, this is what I want to do. Can we arrange to do this on a regularly scheduled basis, the first Saturday of the month? They don't want you to just call willy-nilly, can I stop by with some baskets?
Right.
That doesn't go.
But it says a lot about you too, because if, let's say, you're stopping at store A every Monday morning at 9 o'clock, and it's pretty regular, and then all of a sudden you go there and someone has discarded the flowers, that's got to be frustrating a little bit, because you're depending on this inventory, these flowers. But for whatever reason, a mistake is made in the store, new manager overnight. So in that case, you keep your spirits up.
Oh, yeah.
You know, because, you know, some people would just throw their hands up in the air and say, that's it, I'm not going to do this anymore because I had that setback at such and such a store.
Oh, no. I just go, oh, something else to do today.
Yeah.
And I think in 2013, when my mother and I started, we were doing it every day, and we were picking them up at 2 stores. So it was part of our routine. And then I did that, I guess, for about a year and a half, every day or almost every day. And then I cut back to about 4 days a week. But it's just something that sometimes I wake up and I'll call a store and they'll say, well, we only have 30. And I'll go, do I want to drive from Skipback to Philadelphia for 30? And then I think, well, how about those 30 people that will receive them? And I think about, you know, you're worried about your teenager. Your other kid is not getting along in school. Everybody's carrying some burden you don't know about. I mean, everybody can look good, but when you give somebody flowers that they're not expecting and their home looks brighter, when I go down that street I told you about on Pine Street in Norristown, there was a lady, I was walking to the library and I just saw this lady that had a porch that was so beautiful. I don't know her name. So I knocked on the door and I just said, your porch is so beautiful, and she spoke Spanish. Luckily, I love Spanish in the Mexican community, so I said, oh, I have free flowers, would you like some? So once a week, I just put flowers at her door or knock on the door. But the other people on the porches kind of know me now, and it's like droves of people, like that come down, and somebody said, oh, so-and-so's husband just died, take some over to her. And I just kind of stood back, Ella and I said, Ella, what just happened? She said, everybody was just taking the flowers. There was one time, it was at the Olney Transportation Center, when a kid came up to me, and I love passing them out at places like that because there's loads of people.
Yeah, right.
And this kid came up, he goes, ma'am, can I have the boxes when you're done? And I said, oh, don't you want the flowers? And he said, no, I need shelter. He was homeless, he wanted the boxes. He didn't want flowers. And I thought, how sad, but I thought, how glad I am that I had boxes of flowers.
Wow, wow.
Boxes from the flowers.
Yeah. Some of the other things that you've brought here, and again, we're talking about this mission to, you know, just share flowers with people and elicit this positive response from these people who otherwise, you know, may not be having a good day, or they may not be having a bunch of great days. But there's also a teddy bear on the table. There's also an Afghan blanket, because some of the other things that you know, you bring to the table is that you started collecting teddy bears, like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of teddy bears that you also pass out to people.
Well, in 2009, when I first went to live with my mother, it was one day, and she said, why don't we go to a veteran's home and bring chocolate and cigarettes? You know, I said, okay. And I said, well, why don't we bring some other things along? And I said, let's just bring some of these teddy bears and Christmas decorations. And then we took them up there, and for some reason, they let us come in on a Saturday night. But when we went to leave, these guys didn't want to give back the blankets and the teddy bears, and we're thinking, what? So then I posted on Facebook that we visited a veterans home and we went to 2 nursing homes that same Christmas season. And we gave the things out, we told 'twas the night before Christmas, but we couldn't get our goodies back.
Right.
So when I put it on Facebook, people said, oh, I have teddy bears, I have Afghans. Then I posted it on Craigslist. So between 2009 and 2013, when I started the flowers, we collected 11,000 stuffed animals and about 300 or 400 of the Afghans. And the people in the nursing homes love them. The statistic is 60% of the people in nursing homes don't have any visitors. And some have an occasional visitor. But when you come in and you give them a teddy bear and people say, well, why would an old person or elderly person or a senior like a teddy bear? I'm thinking for comfort, for cuteness, for conversation piece, to put on their bed as a decoration. Nobody ever says no to the stuffed animals. But when I collected them, I found that some were dusty and musty. So I would throw them in the dryer for 45 minutes with some freshener. And then that kind of got to be a lot of work, and then taking them to the laundromat. So if anybody decides to collect stuffed animals for seniors in nursing homes, I would say whoever donates them to you, ask them to run them through the dryer. And you can't just drop into a nursing home. And I talk about that in the book. You really want them to know you're coming. Call and ask for the activity director and say, we've collected 30 cute little stuffed animals. May I bring them over on Sunday at 3 o'clock or a good time for you? And it's a good thing to do just if you're an empty nester like I am. My 4 kids are grown, with the grandkids, with your neighborhood friends. There's always somebody that can use your act of kindness. And all the things that I do are fun and free.
And that's important because oftentimes people will say, A, I don't have the time to do it. B, I don't have the money to do it, but I want to do something. And before the show, you said, you know, you could just go and get a bunch of flowers, take one flower, make your own tag, and attach it to a ribbon and tie it to the flower, and there you go. I mean, it shows that not only are you giving them this flower, but you've taken the time to actually spruce it up a little bit with a card, just saying thank you, or you are special, or you know, we love you, or whatever. That really makes the difference in a person's life.
It does. So what I tell people to do is to just go to a store that sells flowers for $3.99. Take them home on the kitchen table and invite the neighborhood kids, Lolly and Molly and Dolly and Susie or whatever, and just say to the other mothers, let's just separate these flowers. Everybody gets one flower. And then I just buy these ribbons at the thrift store, and you tie a ribbon around the flower. And then we just cut out these little tags that say you are special or whatever you want to do. But this is an activity you can do with the kids.
Yeah.
Or at the thrift store, I'll just pick up a pack of cards for 25 cents, get well, happy birthday. The kids can, or I can just say, thinking of you, have a good day. But then you can go into the life enrichment coordinator or the activity director and say, does anybody have a birthday? Would they like a flower? Or your little kids can just go in and pass out the flowers. Put them in a pretty basket. But it's just a wonderful thing to do. Or, like I say, after an engagement party, after a retirement dinner, after like your daughter's wedding, find out who the bride is, talk to a DJ, and just say, what are they going to do with the flowers? Can you give the bride my phone number? But you want to know what the flowers are, because if they have a million big displays, what are you going to do with them? But if they say they have baskets of flowers, or you can say, I'll take this, this, and this, to bring it home, set it up in your garage with the kids, separate them on a Friday night, and just take them somewhere on a Saturday.
Yeah, and this is something that, you know, you as a person can do. You can enlist your family, you can enlist your Boy Scout troop, Girl Scout troop, you can list the neighborhood kids. Everybody can get involved, and it's a really great community project.
It is.
And you're not breaking the bank in doing something like this. When you go into one of these nursing homes, let's say, and they don't know you and you don't know them, but just the joy of handing that person a flower makes the person feel good. But I suspect, Patricia, it must make you feel great.
It makes me feel great, and I like to also make sure that the employees, the staff, they get lots of flowers too, because they say if the mom ain't happy, the family's not happy, if the staff ain't happy, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Just,
yeah.
I'm not saying the word ain't, but everyone benefits from those flowers. Everybody.
Yeah. I want to talk a little bit more about your mission and how you move forward from here, because, you know, I suspect in 2013 when you started this, you know, it was a couple dozen flowers that you were passing out. As you said, since 2013, 50,000
Right.
flowers that you've passed out. So moving forward, I mean, where do you see this going? I mean, it's has the mission that you started picked up in other cities across the country, and I guess universally, everybody's having the same experience, I suspect.
A lot of people have called me. You know, it's been mentioned in different media, and a lot of people around the country have called me. But I'm thinking about the very first time you said when it started in May of 2013. My mother and I picked up the flowers, and that day they told me they had a couple hundred. We had to be there at 6 in the morning. And we got there, and they weren't saved for us. And we were so disappointed, but it was miscommunication. So we went back on Sunday, and we get these loads of flowers. And then my mother always goes, in the name of the Father, Son, Holy Spirit, amen. Dear God, who needs these flowers today? And she'll say, an AIDS hospice. And I'll go, Mom, I don't know where an AIDS hospice. She'll go, now you just get on that phone and figure it out. Before we know it, we're on Girard Avenue, and she's telling me to take them down to Lehigh where she grew up, and we're just giving flowers wherever we go. But we went to Wesley Enhanced Living in Germantown. We were driving past there. And I just went in with the flowers, and I said, I'm Patricia Gallagher, and we have some free flowers. May I pass them out? And they said, are you with an organization? And I guess it was channeled from, I don't know who. I said, I'm with the Happy Flower Day Project. And I don't know where that came from.
Yeah.
And then the lady said, are you the director? And I'm thinking, well, I guess I am. This is the first. So I went into a room, and everybody just had their head down like this. You know, I guess they were resting. And I just said, okay, everybody close your eyes. And they were already closed. I said, my mother and I are going to put something on your lap.
Mm-hmm.
And we put like 30 bouquets on people's laps. And then my mother just started singing, Happy Flower Day to you, Happy Flower. And so that's kind of our theme song.
Yeah.
We just sing Happy Flower Day to you to the tune of Happy Birthday. And then we sing May the Dear Lord Bless You, which is just our family tradition.
Right.
And I guess I have at least 30 that know me regularly, and I don't have to introduce myself. And as a profession, part-time, empty nester kind of person, I do something called Inspiration with Patricia at different nursing homes. So the ones that I go to on a regular basis, they know me well, and they go, oh, the flower lady's here. Here comes the flower lady.
We should mention that people could go to your website if they want to know more information. The website is happyflowerday.org, happyflowerday.org. You can find out more information on Patricia's mission. If you would like to donate, and I'm sure she could use the funds to not only put gas in the car, but maybe even acquire some of the things. She's tying these ribbons and cards to these flowers. Anything would help. So that's happyflowerday.org. In the few minutes that we have left, given the great work you've done here, what is the key to the success of your project, but really any project? I mean, you got to put your mind to it, but what is the key to success for a project?
I think it's to love what you do, but there's something else that guides me that I learned from my mother. She had written a book about Mother Teresa. She graduated from Villanova when she was 58 and started writing books. And she used to quote Mother Teresa, but I think somebody else said it way before Mother Teresa, but it's do all the good you can in all the ways you can, wherever you can, while you can, for whomever you can. And my mother did that. And I think she just kind of taught us to do that kind of thing. I'm not in a goody-goody type of thing,
Sure.
but just like we were always helping people as we were growing up. And then as I was raising my 4 children, I was a stay-at-home mom at the time. And I just put them in the double stroller and a hand here and a hand here, and we would go visit people in nursing homes and bring magazines. But I think it's just the success is doing something that you love, and if you don't love it, don't do it. Like there's never a day that I'm doing this and I'm saying, oh, I don't want to do this. It's more like I said to Ellie yesterday, oh, I wish we had more flowers. We only had 30 today. Another day we might have 150. So it's just, You had mentioned about the beginning and where it's going. In the beginning, I bought a brand new Kia. It was a 2013. It had like 9 miles on it. It was so nice, and I used to put blankets because the buckets of wood are.
Right.
But now it has 160,000 miles on it. It's kind of rickety. It looks like a landfill inside. Like the blankets have long gone because the water has spilled all over.
Yeah.
So I think anybody else that's doing this would be more organized than I am, but I'm always just so glad to get the flowers, and I'm just stuffing them in. And when I go to this particular store, they'll go, oh, you're going to have to make 2 trips. And I go, well, can somebody help me that like has experience doing cargo loading on a jet or something? Like, we're going to, and somehow we always get them in. Occasionally, I've come back for the 2nd trip.
Yeah.
And last week, I went, I was so excited about the flowers, and I got there, and they were in the dumpster. So the store employee came out, and he said, let's look in the dumpster. They were just thrown away. And he said, I'm not going in. I said, I'm not going in either.
Yeah, right.
We can't dumpster
Dumpster
dive.
dive,
If they were on the top, well, I might take them.
Yeah. Again, for more information, I want to encourage people to check out happyflowerday.org. You can find out more about Patricia's mission. You can find out more about Patricia, and you can even donate there if you would like. And there's also a link that will take you to Patricia's books, and they are great reads. I encourage you, if you're looking for something to read, something positive, something that's going to motivate you, you want to check out one of Patricia's books. Patricia, thanks so much for coming in.
Thank you so much, Paul.
Continued success.
Thank you.
Continue on your mission,
Thank you.
and I wish you well in all your ventures.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Until the next time, ladies and gentlemen, thanks so much for tuning into the Philly Factor. My name is Paul Perrello. We'll see you next time around.